Politics over Prime Minister's security breach has further intensified. BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra has made a scathing attack against Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi for briefing the Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi over security lapse of the Prime Minister. He said, and I quote, "What constitutional post does Priyanka Gandhi hold and who is she to be kept on the loop regarding Prime Minister's security?" This is Sambit Patra's words. BJP has further alleged that the Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi must have said to Priyanka, and I quote, "Work is done. What you said, it is done." This is what the BJP says, mocking Charanjit Singh Channi. Now, this comes after Chief Minister Channi reiterated yesterday that he briefed Priyanka Gandhi that there was no threat to the Prime Minister on 5th of January and that he was completely safe. Treating this entire episode callously, Channi had earlier said and accused this incident to be a gimmick by the BJP created by the Prime Minister to topple the Punjab government as the elections are just around the corner. This is what was said by the Channi government previously.
अरे मैं फिर कह रहा हूँ पीएम को यहाँ कोई खतरा नहीं था, ना ही हुआ है, ना ही कभी होगा और वो बिल्कुल सेफ थे। उनकी सिक्योरिटी चारों तरफ थी, कोई उनके नज़दीक नहीं गया, कोई दूर से कंकर नहीं फेंका, कोई नज़दीक 1 किलोमीटर तक उनके सामने नहीं आया। तो इसमें क्या है? मैंने आपको पहले ही बता दिया था कि प्रियंका गांधी जी से बात हुई थी, जो भी यहाँ बात हुई मैं उनको बता दी थी।
Why was it a compulsion to keep Priyanka Vadra in loop as far as the security of Prime Minister is concerned? This is a very serious issue and we firmly believe that the Gandhi family should come out clean on this. इस पूरे मसले में गांधी परिवार को अपनी सफाई देनी चाहिए।
किस आधार पर एक संविधान पर पद पर आसीन मुख्यमंत्री एक ऐसे व्यक्ति को राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा की ब्रीफिंग दे रहे हैं, अर्थात प्रियंका वाड्रा को, जो ना कि इलेक्टेड पोजीशन पर है, ना कि वो संवैधानिक पद पर है, ना कि वो कांग्रेस पार्टी की अध्यक्षा है, ना कि वो जनरल सेक्रेटरी इंचार्ज पंजाब है, वो महज एक जनरल सेक्रेटरी उत्तर प्रदेश के मामलों से जुड़ी हुई है। तो किस आधार पर ये ब्रीफिंग उनको राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा के मामलों पर दी जा रही है? ये संविधान के तमाम मर्यादाओं का
पंजाब की जो कल्चरल और सोशल बॉन्डिंग है ना, वो बहुत मजबूत है। तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि किसी पे दोष मर दो, आप इतना कर दिए। जो किसान थे वो तो आसपास भी नहीं थे, ना ही उनको ये पता था कि इस रूट चेंज हो सकता है। सो प्रधानमंत्री की जो एसपीजी देखती है, हेड करती है, लेकिन चन्नी साहब ने अगर ऐसा बयान दिया है कि मैं कौन सा है कर दूं, तो अमन शांति तभी रहेगी जब सरकार मजबूत होगी।
The Chief Minister has taken oath of secrecy under the Constitution. Priyanka Vadra Gandhi, that I last checked, does not hold any constitutional position that a Chief Minister needs to report to Priyanka Vadra Gandhi and divulge and share sensitive details pertaining to the Prime Minister's security.
Co-presented by Berger Paints. Paint your imagination.
Now, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has stoked a fresh row. Referring to the demographic constituency of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi has said that the fight is literally between the 80% and the 20%. Yogi has added that 20% of voters will always oppose the BJP, while 80% of the voters will bring BJP to power again. Remember, this is not the first time when Yogi has made such a remark. In recent times, he said he's used the terms Ganna versus Jinnah and Abbajan references to take pot shots at Akhilesh Yadav, communal remarks that have been made in the past as well.
ये चुनाव 80 बनाम 20 का होगा। 80% समर्थन एक तरफ होगा, 20% दूसरी तरफ होगा और मुझे लगता 80% सकारात्मक ऊर्जा के साथ आगे बढ़ेंगे। 20% हमेशा विरोध किए हैं, विरोध करेंगे, लेकिन सत्ता बीजेपी की आएगी। बीजेपी फिर सबका साथ, सबके विकास के अभियान को आगे बढ़ाने का कार्य करेगी।
Now, worrying trends bring back deja vu of the second wave, the deadly second wave. Cases continue to surge in India, with Omicron fueling the surge, even as states impose strict COVID curbs. On ground here are reporters from the length and breadth of the country. Let's take a look.
shops, markets, and malls all shut. Top metros in the country spent weekend with sweeping COVID curbs in a bid to contain the monster surge in COVID cases across the country. In the national capital, where strict weekend curbs are in place, cases have continued to surge with the positivity rate nearing 20%.
Yesterday, the country registered its maximum spike in COVID cases since the last 7 months. It crossed the 1,41,000 mark in the national capital. The positivity rate is about to touch the 20% mark. At the behest of that, we see that there's a crucial meeting by the Delhi Disaster Management Authority that's scheduled tomorrow, where further restrictions will be thought about, and the details will then after be shared in that meeting that will be held tomorrow.
The Delhi Chief Minister, who had himself tested positive for COVID just days ago, had some encouraging words after recovering, ruling out a lockdown and pointing to lower death rates.
कल वाला जो हेल्थ बुलेटिन था उसमें लगभग 20,000 के करीब केसेस आए थे, और आज शाम को जो हेल्थ बुलेटिन आएगा उसमें लगभग 22,000 केसेस, पिछले 24 घंटे के 22,000 केसेस आएंगे। तो डेली बहुत तेज़ी से केसेस बढ़ रहे हैं, जिसको जो एक चिंता का विषय तो है, लेकिन जैसे मैंने पहले भी बोला था, घबराने की बात नहीं है। कई लोग मेरे से प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं, लॉकडाउन लगेगा? हम लॉकडाउन नहीं लगाना चाहते, लॉकडाउन नहीं लगेगा अगर आप मास्क पहनोगे तो।
In Maharashtra, the worst hit state, fresh curbs have kicked in. A night curfew begins from Monday from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. Swimming pools, gyms, spas and salons will also remain shut. New curbs don't permit movement of more than 5 people in a group. Schools will also remain shut till February 15.
Many other pointers have been put out in the list of restrictions. This on account of the fact that Mumbai and Maharashtra are recording high COVID numbers. On a daily basis now, Mumbai is recording more than 20,000 cases. Maharashtra yesterday recorded more than 40,000 cases.
Tamil Nadu saw a complete lockdown on Sunday. Only essential shops were allowed to function and timing of restaurants capped.
With the case numbers of COVID-19 increasing without any control in the state of Tamil Nadu, the state government has been forced to impose lockdown again. In fact, in the state of Tamil Nadu, night curfew is already in place, which is from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., while Sunday has also been announced as a total lockdown, and this is how the city looks. This is Chennai, and one of the important junctions in Chennai called as Khattipara, and there is not much movement over here at all. If you need to leave your home, you need to have a valid reason, and all essential services are allowed, but at the same time, everything else is shut.
Increased curbs and cases come in the shadow of a big surge in Omicron cases, driving the third wave. Experts predict that India's COVID cases may peak in February and the worst may be yet to come. With Shreya Chatterjee in Delhi, Pankaj Upadhyay in Mumbai and Pramod Madhav in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, shadow over COVID wonder drug, Molnupiravir, after ICMR casts a doubt on its safety. But the pill seems to be selling like hotcakes at pharmacies in India. Let's take a look at this ground reality.
Merck's Molnupiravir was meant to be a wonder drug for COVID-19. After a green light by drug regulator, it is now available at several pharmacies across the country.
Different companies are making Molnupiravir and selling them at different cost price.
There are some that are selling it for 2,000 rupees. This manufacturer currently is selling these 200 mg tablets for 690 rupees. So there are differences in prices also, but when you go to pharmacies, you will have to show a doctor's prescription to buy these tablets, and without the prescription of a medical specialist, the pharmacy will not allow you to buy these tablets. And the demand for the pill has been surging.
इसकी सेल काफी बढ़ चुकी है. हमारे पास ही लगभग 3 से 4 दिन में 50 से 60 पेशेंट आके लेके जा चुके हैं मोलनुपिराविर, और ये मार्केट में अब इजीली अवेलेबल है और बहुत सारी कंपनियों का लॉन्च हो चुका है.
ऑन प्रिस्क्रिप्शन ऑन डिमांड अवेलेबल है, उसमें कोई शॉर्टेज वगैरह ऐसी कुछ भी नहीं है.
However, the ICMR has still not included this antiviral pill in the National Clinical Treatment Protocol. ICMR DG Dr. Balram Bhargava's statement has raised concerns over this drug consumption in India. He said the drug is not safe.
We have to remember that this drug has major safety concerns. It can cause teratogenicity and what you have mentioned, mutagenicity, and it also can cause cartilage damage and can also be damaging to muscles also. Child born could be problematic with teratogenic influences.
The ICMR DG said the drug was only approved based on a sample size of 1,433 patients who reported a reduction in severe symptoms in mild to moderate cases.
30% ये हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन कम कर सकता है, लेकिन सेफ्टी प्रोफाइल को देखते हुए इसका बहुत कम एक स्मॉल ग्रुप ऑफ पेशेंट्स में ही इंडिकेशन है. इसीलिए हम लोग डॉक्टर्स आज की डेट में मोलनुपिराविर को बहुत कम ग्रुप ऑफ पेशेंट्स में दे रहे हैं.
And yet doctors are prescribing it and patients are purchasing from pharmacies. The company issued a statement that read, and I quote, "We are confident in the clinical profile molnupiravir, which demonstrated a significant reduction in risk of hospitalization or death in our phase 3 clinical trial with no observed safety concerns when compared to the placebo group," unquote. We have been witnessing how the sales of this particular tablet have increased in the market after doctors have started prescribing it as a curative treatment for COVID-19 as number of cases are increasing. But the health regulatory authorities like ICMR have said that molnupiravir can be dangerous in many people. It can cause many complications as well, and it can have problems in conception. Those people who will be consuming these tablets should use contraception for at least 3 months because if conceived, the child could have certain complications. And these are the reasons why this particular drug is still not part of the national clinical protocol of the country yet, where medicines like remdesivir, ivermectin and Fabiflu were once part, but these are still not part of the national protocol. Yet doctors have been prescribing them and people have been coming to pharmacies to buy these medicines. That is the big question. With Pradeep Gupta in New Delhi, Milan Sharma for India Today.
Now, a political war has erupted over a Padayatra in Karnataka led by the Congress party over Mekedatu water project. Not only has the party defied the COVID curfew that has been imposed in the state, but also COVID norms were followed. In fact, many of them were seen blatantly going against all COVID protocols that were put in place. Many of them no masks, no social distancing, heavy crowding that was witnessed around those protest sites. Now, the latest is that Siddaramaiah, the former chief minister from the Congress party, has returned from the 6-day yatra after developing a fever. Yet another example of curbs for common man, but not for netas, it seems.
Without water, there is no life. This is for our Bangalore. This is for the farmers of Karnataka.
Politics, face-off, and now a Padyatra Nataka. Brazen defiance of weekend curfew orders as COVID cases skyrocket. A massive political war has erupted over the Mekadatu Dam row. Led by Karnataka Congress Chief D.K. Shivakumar and Leader of Opposition Siddaramaiah. The Congress in Karnataka kick-started its 10-day-long Padyatra from Mekadatu to Bengaluru, aggressively pushing the long-standing demand of implementing the Mekadatu project across the Kaveri River.
Without water, there is no life. This is for our Bangalore, this is for the farmers of Karnataka. Karnataka, two political party, they want to kill this project, they want to kill the people of Karnataka. Bangalore is not a city in India, it is a city of the world.
The COVID-timed Padyatra deemed politically motivated by Chief Minister Bommai.
ಸಮ್ಮಿಶ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ನೀರಾವರಿ ಸಚಿವರಿದ್ದರು. ಅವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ, ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಕಳೆದ 3 ವರ್ಷ ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಕೂಡ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಏಕಾಏಕಿ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪಾದಯಾತ್ರೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ಅವರು
The Padyatra with the theme Namma Neeru Namma Hakku, which means our water, our right, began at the Sangama, the confluence of Kaveri and Arkavati rivers, covering a distance of over 100 kilometers.
The Congress over here is starting this in order to put pressure on the government, stating that the government has not been putting pressure on the central government to go ahead with this. The centre and the state, in fact, Chief Minister Bommai has very clearly stated that what the Congress is doing over here is nothing but political.
When questioned over the need to organize a Padyatra at a time when Karnataka witnesses an unprecedented COVID spike, Shivakumar made a bizarre claim.
They are just creating, they want the number, they are hiking the number, no COVID here. Simply they are hiking the number. Who are coming? They are just harassing people. They are collecting more than 3,000 rupees per visitor who is entering Karnataka. This is a curfew. This is not a COVID curfew. This is a BJP curfew.
The Congress has been demanding that the Bommai government implement the Mekadatu Reservoir project to ensure water for Bengaluru residents. With large number of people gathering and violating all COVID protocols, all eyes are on the Bommai government on the action taken against these violations. With Nolan Pinto from Mekadatu, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, after yet another intimate picture of Jacqueline Fernandez and conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar surfaced online, the actor has issued a statement for the first time, breaking her silence after her name was dragged into the extortion case. In her post, Jacqueline has said she hopes justice and good sense prevails. She said that she is going through a rough patch and requested everyone not to intrude into her privacy and her personal space. She said, and I quote, "It is with this trust that I would request my media friends not to circulate images of a nature that intrude my privacy and personal space." This comes after another intimate picture went viral on social media. Time and again, Jacqueline Fernandez has denied being in a relationship with the con man, Sukesh Chandrasekhar, but Sukesh, in his statement, has openly said that he was dating Jacqueline Fernandez.